Hi guys, so welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing meditation. So I've been asked to make this video about 3 times already, and so I'm finally doing it. So today we're going to be discussing how to start meditating. I'm going to be telling you how I started meditating and kind of how that evolved to where I am now with my meditation. I'm also going to give you some tips because I know that when I started meditation I really didn't know what to expect, and so I mean, you can read about other people's experiences and you can listen to my experience, but your experience of meditation will probably be quite unique. But I am going to give you some tips that I think will help anyone that is starting meditation, because I think the stuff that I've struggled with is very, very common stuff that anyone would struggle with when they start meditating. So let's get started. I think it's important to firstly just get comfortable. So put something comfortable on, change out of whatever it is that you had on maybe for work or when you went out with friends. Like, don't meditate in jeans. I think you should be as comfortable as possible. So whatever that means for you, you just need to be comfortable. I recommend personally sitting. So find a comfortable place to sit and meditate that way. I prefer to keep my spine straight. If you feel like you want to try laying down at first, you can do that, but I think I would fall asleep. Secondly, I would recommend finding a quiet space or a space where you won't be disturbed. So what I think is very helpful here is if you're living with someone else or if you're living with a whole family, just tell whoever it is that's in the house that you don't want to be disturbed for however long, maybe an hour or maybe just a few minutes. Just, you know, I know it might not be possible to have it be 100% silent, and the idea isn't to have it be completely silent, but as much as possible, you know, just to like limit your irritation, try to find a spot that's quiet or a time in the day that's quiet. If you are just starting out, then maybe just start with 10 minutes in the morning and then see how it goes. If you prefer to meditate at night, then that's also fine. I just prefer to start with meditation in the morning because then it sets me up for the whole day and I'm already in that calm state, and my goal is to remain in that calm state for the rest of the day. So it is quite an interesting thing. I don't think many people know how to meditate. I don't think many people know how to be quiet and still. Meditation is about being very, very still. And I mean, the idea is to be so still that you're not even thinking anymore. Like, you need to quiet your mind as well. That's one of the biggest goals that I had for meditation. I initially just did like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because I was actually quite scared to start meditation. For most people, quiet time is like still being on their phone or watching TV or reading a book. Like that, for most people, is still considered quiet time. But meditation is a different kind of quiet time, and I was actually quite anxious to start because I didn't know what to expect. I thought, like, what a weird situation. Why would I want to just sit there and do nothing? But really, you're not doing nothing. You're just being in that moment, and in that moment you'll notice that you are actually doing something because you are trying to not think. So that is all you need to do, really. So when you start meditation, just try 15 minutes at a time. This is how I started. I did 15 minutes like once a week, and then twice a week, and then 3 times a week. Not in that order, but that is how it kind of started for me. So I did take breaks here and there. I didn't really get into it until I had like these intense meditations, and that happened, you know, when I started to go over the 15-minute mark. And then I actually started to enjoy it quite a bit, and I noticed that I was calming down a lot more in my life. I wasn't as anxious, I wasn't as stressed, I wasn't as depressed. And I know it sounds like, I mean, too good to be true, but like that was a gradual process. I only noticed these changes afterwards. But like, it started with me becoming a lot more calm, and then over time I became less anxious, and then over time I started to be happier because my life just got better. So start with 10-15 minutes, but then I definitely do encourage trying for longer if you do enjoy it. So a lot of people, when they start, they would want to start with using a guided meditation. So if you do want to try guided meditation, that is basically where you sit there and you're listening to either something on an app or on YouTube, and you are basically just being guided through the meditation. So the person will probably be speaking, telling you how to breathe or how to relax, or giving you like a visual to go by. So I have done a few of those guided meditations as well, and I did try it out and I really, really enjoyed it. But for me personally, I wanted to meditate, you know, for a deeper reason. Like I really wanted to start doing inner work on myself. So it wasn't just to reduce stress. That is where it definitely started, but I really wanted to take it and see how I can benefit from it if I meditate the original I suppose meditation, where you just sit there with silence. So that is what I was aiming for. But if you feel better starting with a guided meditation, then that's definitely a very, very good place to start. I highly recommend it. But I also recommend eventually moving over to silent meditation, where you're just sitting with yourself. What I noticed in the process is that I really started to enjoy the quiet meditation more. I started to just develop like a whole other world inside, and I realized that the reason I was so stressed out and the reason I was always overthinking is because my mind is very, very busy. And me, you know, overthinking, I never really took the opportunity to just sit back and observe my thoughts. And so that is the idea in meditation. So when you sit down to meditate, you will start to see that your thoughts are racing a bit. This is what happened with me. My mind was always racing. I would start thinking about random things. And so that is definitely something that might come up. The idea of meditation is that you're going to sit quietly and you're just going to observe what comes up, and then you're going to come back to your breath. So you will get distracted, okay? But this I'm going to discuss just now. Let me just stay on track. So you are comfortable, you find a quiet place to sit, and then you're basically ready to go. All you have to do now is close your eyes and focus on your breath. So that is how you meditate, right? You just sit there quietly and you focus on your breath. So focus on your breath coming in, feel it in your stomach, feel your stomach expanding with the air, and then exhale and like feel the breath leave, and just watch your breath. Just pay attention to your breath, listen to your breath. That is the goal of meditation, to just stay present. And what I like about the idea, and I never really grasped this at the beginning when I started meditating, but the idea of focusing on your breath is genius because it keeps you in the present moment constantly. So when you're observing your breath, that whole process is you being present, okay? And so the idea of meditation is to stay present, is to practice staying present. And what's going to happen when you meditate is that your mind is very busy and it doesn't want you to stay present. It wants you to worry about the future, it wants you to worry about the past, it wants you to worry about what you're going to have for dinner, it wants to worry about everything. And so your mind is going to come and distract you. And so that is definitely something, I mean, to just be aware of. It is going to happen. You are going to get distracted. You are going to hear a car driving past. You are going to hear birds. You are going to hear people shouting outside. You're going to hear maybe different things. You know what I mean? Like anything can distract you and will distract you. And you might get annoyed with this at first, but this is something you practice in meditation, is just coming back to the breath. Quiet your mind. Focus on your breath. Close your eyes and just meditate. And that is how you start meditating. Okay, so one of my first tips is that if you want to start using a guided meditation, then I definitely recommend that. So I would recommend Headspace as a guided meditation app. It will kind of give you these cute videos and they explain the concept around meditation. They also explain kind of the philosophies behind it and just some nice tips to help you in your meditation. So I would definitely recommend Headspace. There is also some YouTube videos where they do some guided meditations. I actually want to do some guided meditations eventually for those of you that are beginners. That is something I'm interested in doing. But I personally do believe that eventually you should move over and do still meditation, just normal quiet meditation. You are definitely gonna get distracted. When you're sitting there, your mind is gonna be busy. You are gonna be thinking about everything that you've been worrying about all the time. Stuff you didn't even think you were worried about is gonna pop up, and then that's how you know you actually were a bit worried about that. The types of distractions that come up for me, I noticed it was a lot of anxious thoughts, like stuff that I'm worried about would come up as I'm meditating. And so those are the things that are there to distract you and to pull your attention away from your breath, okay? And this is going to be your practice. For meditation, you need to just come back to your breath. that is you meditating. So even when you do get distracted, like, don't get upset with yourself, don't judge yourself, because it's completely normal. Okay, your mind is busy. So the whole idea of meditation is that you're busy training your mind, and then when you do that, you start to take that into your normal day-to-day life, and then magic happens. Okay, I'm going to be expanding on this. There's so much I have to say. Meditation is a game changer, guys. I really do suggest trying it out. Like, it's a game changer. It's changed my life tremendously. So for me, I started with meditation and I really started to enjoy it. And as I got used to being still, I started to get these really awesome ideas, and I started to get like intuitive guidance, kind of like these amazing thoughts would pop up in my mind. So first, you know, at the beginning when I was meditating once a week, I started with, you know, having anxious thoughts as my distractions, but then later on, as I calmed down, as I got used to meditation, and as I really got into it, the ideas that would come up would be completely different, and it would be like good ideas that were distracting me. So that was really interesting, because then I had to start taking notes. Like in my meditation, I would have to take notes. So I would get like really good ideas about like what to do for a project at work, or I would get like an idea of, you know, what to get someone for a gift, or like I would get like this message that I need to have this discussion with someone, and then I would have the discussion and it would turn out to be like a really, really good idea that I had to have that discussion. So random stuff. Even with videos that I've made, I've gotten ideas about what to do with my videos. This whole challenge that I'm doing at the moment was because of my intuition. And so yeah, my distractions definitely changed over time, but you will be distracted and you need to be okay with that. So don't judge yourself, don't judge your meditations. You are still getting used to it. If your mind is super busy, like, again, just practice coming back to the breath, and over time your mind will quiet down. But try to just see those distractions and those thoughts as like something popping up, and then just watch it float away. So like, think of it as like a cloud just passing by. Just watch it, just watch the cloud go by. Don't get like sucked into it. On Headspace, they explain it as like watching cars drive by on the road. So don't run after the car, don't chase the car, don't chase the thought, just watch it go by. So observe, realize that your mind has sucked you in, and then just come back to your breath. And then my final tip is to just be consistent. Okay, it is going to take practice. At the beginning, it's going to be weird. You're not going to be used to it. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to like it. Like, your mind is going to irritate you. You're going to see how annoying it actually is that your mind is bugging you so much, and you might get frustrated with all the thoughts coming up. You might get frustrated that you can't just be still, and that is completely normal. That is exactly what happened to me. But over time, as you practice coming back to your breath, as you practice calming down and being still and not getting distracted by your thoughts, as you practice that, it gets a lot easier over time, and you will notice that it does change. You do get better at it. So just be consistent, practice as often as you can. For me, I practiced once a week at a point, and then I started to build up. I started to include it more, and now I'm meditating not just every day, but twice a day every day, and I love it. I love it so much. It has changed my life. I don't think I can ever go back. And I honestly actually got upset, like, when I started to realize the benefits of meditation. I'm going to be making a video on it. But when I started to notice the benefits of it, I really wondered to myself, why aren't we taught this in school? And why isn't this like such a common thing? Why isn't everyone meditating? That was honestly my impression. I was like, why isn't everyone meditating yet? Yeah, I'm very passionate about it, and I've had a lot of mental health struggles. So when I see the benefits of meditation, guys, it's been a life-changing thing, and I really recommend that you try it. And I'm very passionate about it, so I'm going to be making a lot of videos about it in the future. And yeah, I just think everyone needs to meditate. I think children need to be taught how to meditate in school already, and overall I think everyone could benefit from it. So yeah, that's my video. It was a bit all over the place, I understand, but I realized actually how much I have to say. So I'm probably going to make more videos about what I've covered here, but I'm just going to like make sense of it and expand on it, because I did want to expand more on the tips, but like, I'm already 20 minutes in. This is ridiculous. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video, and I'm sending you so much peace and love.